All right, well, welcome everybody to the Team Plant Strong call. It is May 13th, and I am Casey Elmore. I'm a qualified national marketing director with the Juice Plus company. So if we've never met, thank you so much for being here. Tonight, I get to share a two-part series talking about really just falling in love with sales, with what we do. I think so often we shy away from saying that, hey, I'm in a business that has a sales transaction. So many people get the idea that what we do is selling. And so tonight, I'm going to share some truths that actually. All right. Can I get some, let's see if you're on, can I get some thumbs up? Or in the chat box? I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. All right, cool. Thanks, Jillian. All right, so I'm going to share some truths tonight. You guys may or may not love me after tonight, but I think, just going through some of the trainings I've been doing lately, this is something that's just near and dear to my heart. And I want to really challenge everybody's mindset on the idea of sales. So for those of you that don't know my background is in communications with a major in communications, a minor in business. My husband was a communications major that led him down the path slowly but surely into insurance sales. And this was door-to-door sales, cold call, middle of the nowhere USA, and selling a product that people didn't necessarily need. And, for me, that comes full circle because where we are with Juice Plus, that I am a believer that Juice Plus should be in every home. Just as much as everybody has a phone or has a television in their house, I believe that every single person should be eating Juice Plus on this planet. And one of my heart's desires is that we're replacing multivitamins and all these supplements, and we're getting back to whole food. I really believe the core of the health of our country, especially, is because we have relied on all these tips and tricks and diets, and that's why our health is where it is. And so I'm going to be sharing some things that you may not love hearing, but I think it's so important going through what my husband's gone through in sales and now coming down this road of being with the Juice Plus company for 8 years. So first and foremost, I have to say that you have to have leverage to love sales, to take steps every single day. Rachel Hollis, my girl, you guys know who Rachel Hollis is, her recent book, Girl Stop Apologizing. She speaks about leverage in this book. And if you have not read Wash Your Face, read it. And then you can read Girl Stop Apologizing, so all this will make sense. But she speaks to her story about giving up cigarette smoking cold turkey and how miserable of an experience she had that it made her so headstrong to make the change. So when it comes to our mindset about sales, we have to have leverage. She says, leverage, you have to have it. You have to know your why. You will never make change. You have to know what to focus on, or you will never make progress. And so if our mindset about sales is that, sales, it's steamy, I'm selling, it doesn't feel good, then it probably is what you're doing. And it's also obviously how you feel about it. And so that energy you put out is going to be what's received. And so we have to come up with that leverage. So let me take it back a step. What is your why? What is your leverage to get you out of bed every single day? What is your leverage to make you sit down in front of your computer and do the things that you need to do to grow your business, to achieve the goals that you have? Right now, my goal is NMD 24 Club, and it pushes me to take action on days that I don't want to. It causes me so much excitement when I see people on my team that I believe in so much moving towards their goals. And it causes me frustration when I see my paycheck and I know it's not quite where I want it to be. So my why is so all-consuming that I have leverage to push me every single day to make the good decisions I need to get there. And so without a why, it doesn't matter how much you love something. It doesn't matter how much you love sales or love Juice Plus products, because when life happens, you will push it aside. You will push your business aside. until it becomes more convenient and life becomes more simple. And that is just the God honest truth. And so I'm just sharing these things because I've gone through them. I still go through these struggles every single day. And so, you have to really dig into your why to even realize like falling in love with sales is an option. And so your why has to be so strong that it creates the leverage in your life that is going to push you to make progress every single day. So maybe you guys have heard this statement or this quote, and so I'm going to share it with you, kind of shifting gears towards the title of our series, Falling in Love with Sales. We have to fall in love with what you do so much so that you feel like not sharing it is doing a disservice to the world. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Fall in love with what you do so much so that you feel like not sharing it is doing a disservice to the world. Can I get an amen? I feel like this is, again, what I just spoke to you about wanting Juice Plus in every single household. I'm so in love with this product. I'm so in love with this marketing plan. And because of my why, I just have this leverage to push forward. And so if we love something so much and we get so excited, we can't stop talking about it, right? We've got a new boyfriend, or we're newly engaged, or we just moved into this brand new home that we love, or we just had a baby and we just can't stop talking about this, right? Like something that we love and we're so excited about. And sales literally is just a transfer of excitement. When you are so in love with something that you get so excited to share it, and it's just infectious positive energy, everybody's just going to be attracted to you to hear more of what you're doing. So I just want to encourage you to think about this. What part of this business do you love? Is it truly helping others get healthy? Is it the personal growth and the transformation you've experienced in this business? Is it the community that you've found to come rally around you and to be a part of? Is it helping people make an income? So what is it that you love so much that just gets an excitement coming out of you? And I want you to hone that excitement, because if you don't love your business so much that it gets you into action, then again, you got to dig back into that why. Is it lack of education? Is it lack of your belief? Lack of success? You might have to take a little bit of internal reflection, right? Is your lack of action because of lack of consistency or lack of gratitude or a positive mindset? I can truly attest that, what kept me moving forward sometimes in my business is that I had a hard time taking the blame, that it wasn't about my upline. And I love Michelle, she's my very best friend, but I've been there. And upon reflection, every time it's all about my lack of excitement in somewhere in my business, because I'm not digging in enough into my why. I'm not getting excited. I'm not reflecting and getting excited about those areas that I really, truly love. So if this is something that you feel like you struggle with, this isn't something I'm going to train on tonight, but I really do encourage you to connect with your mentor on this, because it can truly unlock your path to falling in love with what you do, with this business, with this product, with this company. I've witnessed it over and over and seen people's light bulb turn on. So I really encourage you to think about that. And so falling in love with sales is what we are here to talk about tonight. And so I need to make this clear. Yes, Juice Plus is sales. As is talking to your favorite friend about a movie to tell them that they should go see it because you really feel like it connects with them, to tell your friend about a new restaurant. You share how amazing it is because of X, Y, and Z based on their preferences or needs, right? But I do want to make it also clear that it is not selling. There is a huge difference. There's a huge difference for my husband going door-to-door sales, knocking on people's doors for something that they don't need. Sales is simply a process of people going through to determine if it's for them or not. Okay, that's what sales is. Sales is simply a process people go through to determine if it's for them or not. Selling is a process of convincing people it's for them, even if they aren't sure. And Jesse and I will tell you every day that what he used to do was totally selling. He was in sales, but it was a different type of sales. It was selling. And what Juice Plus is sales. It is not selling. And so just to be clear, sales is a process people go through to determine if it's for them. So getting them to a yes or no, and determining their needs And we'll talk a little bit more about how we can determine those needs. And selling is a process of convincing people it's for them, even if they aren't sure. So now I really want to talk about how to fall in love. I think it's really hard to love something when we don't understand it. I mean, how can you love your friend, a spouse, if you really don't know and understand them? So I want to walk you through, it's going to be a 3-step process, and we're not going to get through all of it tonight. But like I said earlier, if you've got questions that come up, thoughts come up, pop them in the chat box. So at the end of this part 1, we can go through them. So this is going to be a 3-step process to successful sales, to really understand the sales process, how to be good at it, how to be really intentional with it, and to make an impact. And you're going to really fall in love with taking action after this. So I got to sit in on, it was almost a 2-hour training with someone in just on social media who's very successful. If you actually don't follow her, her name is Angela Lee. She has the Angie Lee show. It's a podcast. I really love her. I love her stuff. She's very candid. I don't love all of her language per se, but she gives so much value. I got to sit on a webinar, and this is what the process that she walked you through. So this is not my genius. I am purely sharing the information because I really think it was so valuable. So step 1 in this 3-step process to successful sales is figure out the hook and to create yourself as a scroll stopper. Okay, get what I said there? Scroll stopper. You want to become a scroll stopper where literally people are scrolling. Your job is to stop and get people's attention and raise curiosity in 20 seconds. So by creating something to get people to stop scrolling and hook them, okay? So a lot of this is about attraction, marketing, and sales, or when you're speaking to someone, how you're speaking to them, and the things that you're posing to them. But I want to start with this one statement, okay? And we'll talk through them, and any questions that you have, like I said, make sure to take notes and have questions popped in the chat box. But this is what it looks like. Hey, so-and-so, you're speaking to one person, friend, mama, singular. You want them to know that you're speaking just to them. So, hey, mama, or hey, sister, or hey, friend, right? You want to let them know that you're speaking just to them. Are you struggling with X, Y, and Z? Okay. You have to figure out your niche. What is specific, the known pain point. And I'll go back, and this is going to be something that we'll do on part 2. So just know that we're going to come back and revisit this, but talking about pain points. We have to find out our audience pain points. And if you're familiar with our plantstronglife.org website, and you go to launch your franchise, and you go to the very bottom under additional resources under the verbiage templates, the verbiage in there is very specific to talking about their pain point. I thought of you because of X, Y, and Z. What is their pain point? How do we reverse engineer to find exactly their language? Really the question is, what keeps your prospect up at night? We got to rotate these things. And what I encourage you is that as you start thinking of these things, what keeps people up at night? What keeps you up at night? For your health, for your business, right? What keeps you up at night so that you can come to your prospect with language that really speaks to them. So I'm going to give you guys some ideas of some questions that you can propose to your people. So mastering the pain point questions examples go as follows. Hey, mama, did you just have a baby and you're finding it impossible to lose that last 10 pounds of stubborn fat? I know that's pretty vain, but it's such a key statement that honestly, when I was struggling losing baby weight before we found the Shred 10 with Kelly, if I would have saw someone post something about that, I would have stopped and kept reading. Hey, I know a lot of you are going to connect with this one. Another statement, ready, or question. Hey, mom, what if I told you you could get your pre-baby body back without crash diets and hours of cardio? Oh my gosh, that totally spoke my language. That was so, so important to me because I was so tired of trying to figure out how am I going to lose this baby weight with Kelly. Even though I had Juice Plus, I just couldn't quite figure it out. And baby number 2 just rocked my world. Okay. Another pain point question. Yo, fellow mom. And I know that sounds silly, but some of you guys have really silly personalities. So just wanted to give you guys variety. Are you sick of waking up, having to force your eyeballs open and IVing yourself with coffee because you can't seem to find the energy to function? How many of us could really connect with that one? Definitely can. So when you're thinking about your prospects, you really want to think about their pain points, where they're struggling. And I know that as a company that inspires healthy living, we don't necessarily want to talk about like losing weight or stubborn fat but the statement still reads true that when we find someone's pain point, we've got to be open to talking to it. So if I see my friend Susie, post on Facebook about being exhausted because of, baby girl keeping her up at night and just not knowing how to function, I'm going to send her a message and say, hey, Susie, I totally feel your pain. I've been thinking of you. I saw your post about, you're struggling. How are you doing today? I'd love to know that, I'd love to know, if you're really sick of feeling this tired, are you open to an option or another way to get rid of being so exhausted all the time? So I'm just hitting her pain point, reiterating it to her, asking her if she's open, asking her how she's doing, and just touching base. Okay, so that's a really great way that you can, when you see someone post about that particular subject, that you can reach out to them. And I am going to open this up at the very end for you guys. If you have particular situations you want to role play with me, I will. Another fun and engaging way to get attention and to gain attraction is to ask questions. So polls on Facebook are really cool. And actually, I'll tell you what, Michelle, if anybody saw over Mother's Day weekend, Michelle did a really great job just polling people on Instagram story, asking moms, like, would they prefer this or this or this or this? And I could see the messages that she took us through to really like, just, would you prefer like time with your kids, or would you prefer a massage, or would you prefer like just asking questions to get to know her audience more? And it just gave her more insight on people's pain points, but also people's pleasures, right? So I just did a story on Instagram. If you aren't following me on Instagram, you can check me out at Elmore _, all lowercase, all one word. And in my story, what I did is I spoke to pain points and I spoke to opportunistic pleasures. So for me, it was, and I'll just kind of take you through my stories. Are you feeling tired of your current situation? So it was pretty general, but I think a lot of people connect to that. Then I posted something kind of inspirational, saying you could start a brand new story. Then I said this: y'all, I was sick of my situation 5 years ago, sick and tired of being sick and tired. Hubby always gone, living for the weekend, dreaded Monday, scrolling trip deals to have an excuse to get away, but never had the time to do it. So I kept looking forward to the weekend, a vicious cycle. But then an idea hit me. I saw people getting out of all the sick and tired. And I thought, what if we could do zoo days on a Tuesday? So posing a pleasure option, posing something that could really get someone excited about the idea of not having to do the zoo on the weekend when it's crazy, okay? What if I could actually book that trip, and not just for the weekend, but for a week or weeks? For those of you that do know me, I travel a lot, and we travel often, and we travel extended amounts of time. And so again, I was just speaking to the pleasure point of someone that may get them excited. So I went through my story, and at the very end, I did create a call to action. And I shared, let me pull it up, that they could either DM me for info or schedule a call. Now, I don't have a lot of people that are asking me to do either or, but what I do have is hundreds of people that watched my story, and they kept watching my story. So that just really spoke that what I was doing, I was speaking to people's pain points. and I was asking questions, offering ideas, and they kept watching. So using polls on Instagram story, using pain points to market, using pleasure points to market. So it's either or. You can use a pain point or you can use a pleasure point, but truly most people connect with a pain point. A lot of people have a hard time seeing outside of that. But a pleasure point for someone could be like, hey mama, you know, have you ever considered that you could wake up on a Monday morning not having to rush to work? How would that feel? So again, speaking to not having to wake up first thing in the morning on a Monday, having to go to work or taking your kid to daycare, right? So we'll speak, and I'll speak more to pleasure points here in the future, but that's a general idea. So polling on Facebook, polling on Instagram story, using pain points to market, asking these questions, or responding to people that are posting on Facebook or Instagram and sharing a message with them that you really can connect with their pain points. Are they open? And here's some things that you have to think about, and I'm going to wrap up here. If someone says yes, they want to hear more, then offer them a connection point. You want to qualify this person and not waste your time. And what I mean by this is how often when someone says yes, we're like, oh my gosh, can we schedule a phone call? Like when we can I connect you with my upline? Like you get so excited, or you word vomit all over them, like telling them everything about your business. Instead, take a step and qualify this person. When they say yes, say qualifying questions, right? So qualifying questions are important, but also qualifying videos. So when I pose a question or someone says, yes, I want to learn more, I'm going to ask them, hey, if I sent you a video, or hey, if I sent you something to listen to, would you listen to it? Okay, so I'm qualifying them to make sure that they're actually going to take action on the option that I've given them. Because what I don't want to do is go and like type up this whole long thing and tell them everything I know under the sun about what I do and what Juice Plus is and what it's done for my body and what it's done for my health and what it's done for my family and how I'm financially free and blah, 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 blah. That's too much and it scares people away, okay? That's selling because you're trying to convince somebody of something. Rather, let's qualify them. Let's send them a video. We've got all these amazing videos on the Mission Driven Model on YouTube that we can send someone to share more about the product or about the business. But qualify your customer is so, so important. And what's really cool is that when you really love your audience problems versus loving the outcome more, you're going to have a better experience over and over and over again, even when someone doesn't necessarily connect with you. Because here's the thing, the reality is we don't buy from someone with experience. I know so many people that are doctors or medical professionals that could be serving their clients, but instead their clients come to me because I'm someone who can connect with their pain. I've experienced their pain. I let them know I know how they feel. I've felt the same way. And so really coming from the intention of loving your audience's problems because you want to help them solve it and you love them enough that you're going to go and share this with them, rather than going to it because you want to convince them to an outcome, okay? So just to kind of rehab where we started tonight, or step one tonight, is the hook, the scroll stopper. Our job is to stop attention, to raise curiosity in 20 seconds. And again, the statement is really simple, and I'm going to post it here in the chat box. And if you're not on the chat, I'm sorry. That's why I love doing it from my computer, or if you're on your phone, make sure you know how to get to the chat. But really speaking a message of some sort, that you're speaking directly to someone, some specific person. Ask them if they're struggling with a specific pain point, a niche, something very specific. Examples are, I'll be posting them real quick. Let me post. pain points. These are pain point questions that you can really reflect on. All right, so that is step one tonight. I'm only going to share step one because here's what I really want you guys to do. I want you guys to take a hot second and start keeping track of pain points that you can connect with. What are the pain points that you have struggled with, that you have experienced that can connect with your audience? Because I have so many different pain points that I have, and not every pain point is going to connect with each person. When someone comes to me and they're talking to me about, you know, joint pain, I'm going to connect with them about my pain point of my lower back pain that I used to struggle with. When someone comes to me and they talk about, you know, having trouble breathing or dealing with asthma, I'm going to get to speak to my athletic-induced asthma I was diagnosed with when I was 20 or 19. When someone comes to me and they're talking about multiple surgeries, I don't have a pain point, but Michelle Barnett has a pain point talking about multiple surgery. So really think about what your pain point is and make a list. And next week, what we're going to go through is we're going to go through taking your pain points and using them into step 2 and step 3. So I'm going to unmute everybody. And if you guys have any particular questions, now is the time.
Okay. Oh.
All right. Anybody have any questions? All right. Well, thanks guys for being on. Next week, I'm going to have more visuals. So this week I didn't have the visuals, but next week I'm going to have visuals. Your homework is to check into pain points that you have. And next week we'll really dig into that. And one thing I want to leave you guys with is that truly, guys, and this is a Rachel Hollis quote, our words have power, but our action shapes our lives. So take action, make a list of your pain points. I think that's so critical for us to be able to dig in, to connect with people more, and fall in love with sales. So, all right, guys, have a good evening. I don't think anybody. All right, have a good night. Bye, guys.